this, do that, and open up my broker here so we can see what I want to trade. And there's no rush here because we don't have to rush into anything. We can just wait and sit back and relax until something happens. All right, let me know if you can see my screen. I think the answer should be yes. Great. Okay. I'm pretty optimistic that we're going to pump towards 686, 689 is really my target because that's the high from yesterday. So what I want to see, and I think this is where I think you'll see this vision that I have, which is a lot of the market makers are manipulating right now to shake out all the retail investors. There's your drop. I don't want to chase anything. But they're manipulating all the retail investors, scaring them with like war threats or tariffs or whatever it is. And they're just saying, hey, get out of these positions so we can buy them cheap. And then they undercut and then they rip. This has been happening for like weeks at this point in time, right? We saw that happen yesterday, which when I got the 690 calls, that ended up going 220%. And yes, there was a bit of drawdown. I think I was down by like 10% at one point in time because we got the manipulation candle and then, we stopped out, or some people stopped out. But I just held them because I knew that we were going to undercut and go higher because this is a strong level of support, right? So like here, you have a lot of buyers right now. And we can also track the institutional investors and seeing what they're doing. So if I go to Discord and open up the institutional volume here, let's go open this up. People have been buying this like all night. And we have a, $26 billion print on the $7,000 call wall, right? So if they're buying all the individual stocks on the deal, I'm not saying like, they're swinging this. I'm saying if they're deploying this much capital daily on a particular strike, then are you going down? I don't think so. I don't think that's the reality, right? And so what I want to see here happen is like an undercut, like go towards that 682, 560 area, get around here and start buying calls at 686 or 688. That's really where my mind is at. Now we can also get the reverse. It might just pump up here and just continue going and grinding, right? Or we might get something like this where it just consolidates here and then just drops down quite drastically, right? But I think the most logical thing to do here is just to watch the next like 5, 10, 15 minutes and see what happens. Do we get an undercut so we can buy calls? Or do we get an, I don't know what you want to call it, like an inverse undercut? I don't know what the right word for is. And then, do we want to buy puts towards the 682 area? I think the most likely thing that's going to happen here is we're going to undercut and then go up. But let's just wait and see what happens. But people have been buying this in the after hours, right? 131,000 shares. $26 billion deployed at this call wall at 7,000, right? And if I look at the S5, FI, stocks above the moving average here on the S&P 500, like it's looking pretty good. Like the market breadth is getting better. So we'll see if this wants to do an inverse head and shoulder here and rip higher, which I think will likely be the case. Or do we want to continue imploding on the S&P 500 and the QQQ, right? So let's go look at the QQQ chart real quick. Call wall is at 600. I don't think we're going to close below that, to be honest. I'd be very worried if we close below this because at that point in time, I'm basically I have a lot of stocks here that I've been buying for the last like year or so. I'm basically going to scale out of all of them and start buying where the money is actually flowing towards different sectors and different stocks. It's really a stock picker's market right now rather than, buying the ETF or buying a particular sector, except for energy and some of the data center stuff, right? Same thing on IWM. I just want to see that undercut, get to this level at 261.55, and then I'll be interested in buying calls. But that's how I'm thinking about this market. Let's just wait for the sweep to happen, which is the pre-market lows, which is right around here. Wait for the undercut and then get calls because I think they're going to pump this up afterwards. Same story as yesterday, same story as every other day so far. On Tuesday, what did we get when the market opened? Got an undercut, double bottomed here, and then we started going up really fast. What happened yesterday? We got an undercut, got under bottom, ripped up, and then we kind of just nuked all the gains for the whole day, at the top there. So I'm expecting a same story here. So I'm just going to watch and see what we get. And by the way, I got WDC calls for tomorrow. I placed an order, a limit order here, and it filled. I'm up like 20% on that, or was at least. I don't know what happened now. But the call wall in Western Digital is 310. So I got the 320 strike. I think it was really cheap and wanted to see if that would work. But at the end of the day, depending on how Western Digital does, I'm going to buy the 310 calls for tomorrow as well, if they're less than $1, and then just enjoy the gains. I was just telling Danny this, but memory and storage names have done really well. I'm going to mute whoever's talking. One sec. MU is doing pretty well compared to the broader market. I want to see it come back to that 404 area, which is that anchored weave up from like a couple of weeks ago. And I'll buy calls. But for the time being, I don't have to do anything. Same thing with SNDK. You're going to undercut and rip higher. I think I actually drew this on the 4 hour. So let's see if that 4 hour's holding so far. All I see is this, like a W up towards like all-time highs. So you need to buy commons or buy options, whatever you prefer, comfortable with. But, you know, these names are relatively strong compared to the broader market right now. So that's really where my mind is at, is let's just see what happens here on the S&P 500. And to be honest, like most of my gains have not been coming from swings or long-term investing. My Microsoft stock that I've been averaging into literally for like the last 8 years has been the worst performing stock I've ever held. And I've sold all my Microsoft shares last week when we were at this level here. Because I was like, I just don't think we're going to, you know, get back towards all-time highs anytime soon at like 550, whatever that number was, right? And as an investor who was buying Microsoft stock for the last 8 years, and I definitely bought the tops here, and that was been my worst performing stock. I would have not believed you last year, but that's just the reality, right? This is not a trending market right now. If I look at the S&P 500, and let's say you bought at the first week of November, you bought around 680. That's your target. That's when you entered the S&P 500. You're only up $3 here, right? So you risk $650, $680 rather, to make $3 on that trade. Is that the right risk and reward? No. The answer is no. Fuck no. I would never do that if I was an actual investor. But as a day trader, it gives us a lot of opportunities because we can see where the levels of liquidity are, right? So like this is what I was saying, undercut and rip higher. That's exactly what we're going to get probably. And so my mind always goes towards the companies that you thought were historically really good and strong performers like Microsoft and Apple and Meta and whatever else are just nuking. They're just shitting the bed. Like I don't even want to buy them anymore. I just want to trade them. I don't want to buy them and hold them long term until the market conditions improve. And they're slowly getting there. But I think their market makers are manipulating the hell out of every retail investor, a lot of other institutions as well, where they're undercutting them and then buying individual stocks that are going to be performing better than the S&P 500 or QQQ or whatever it is. And the best we can do here is just watch and see if they undercut and give us the opportunity to buy cheap on the call side, or if they do the inverse undercut where they rip up for no friggin' reason and give us the opportunity to buy the cheap puts for the stocks that we want to trade, right? So that's how I'm thinking about this. There's no point deploying cash right now on long-term swings or some of these other companies that are not performing well. And if I go to the George page for rotation, like he's just saying money's going towards utilities, real estate, energy, and these are real dollars. Like these are real numbers. So why do I want to fight the institutions and buy technology companies right now? It makes no friggin' sense to me, right? So that's where my mind is at. Like just short the hell out of all the technology companies and buy the companies that have really good long setups like NEE, Duke, or whatever the number is or the asset is. Even HII, which we mentioned on the one of the long-term investing calls last week, like we're up 10% on that trade since we bought it last week, right? So we're up about 12% right now, and it's just continuing to go higher. This is a trending situation here. We have higher highs, higher lows, right? This is, if I look at it on the daily, we've had higher highs and higher lows ever since like March last year, right? This has continued to trend compared to the S&P 500. And if I look at the S&P here and just look at that on the daily, like, yeah, we were in a trending market where we could buy any stock, any sector within the S&P 500, or even the S&P 500 alone, and we'd be up. But since October 27th, that just has not been the case. So that's where my mind goes, is I just want to see what the market makers are doing, and I'd rather just do the trades rather than buy for the long term right now. And yes, it's a cynical opinion, but that's just the reality of the situation. Any questions? I just want to see this undercut, and I'll buy SPY calls. Okay, I just want to see what the 940 candle brings us, and then 945. Alex, you can buy 688 calls. Like, don't get me wrong. If you buy them now, there will be a better drawdown. But I'm going to have diamond hands here. I know in 90% of the cases I'm going to win, and 10% of the cases I'm going to lose, because I have a trading journal where I just track my win rate and losses and whatever. And right now I'm sitting at about a 90 to 92% win rate, right? So I just got to win more than I lose, and that's really where my mind is at. I'm taking the 688 calls, I'm not going to get them right now because I think we're going to undercut once again. We're going to go lower. Like this is the sweep, right? This, I told you the 682.56 is where I would be looking at buying calls. I unfortunately missed that because I was talking to you all. But my mind goes always towards like, when do I want to buy this? And it's at that undercut level, 682.56. That's exactly what we got. What did we get? We got an undercut at that area. And now we're starting to go higher. But I think it's going to double tap. It's going to do something like this, where if I just draw this out very crudely, we're going to rip higher a little bit, come back down, retest the buyers here, and then go up like really fast, something like that, right? And I have my target at 690 for today. That's really where my mind is at. But I want to see this double tap here, and then I'll get more calls. Or what I could also do, and if you're comfortable with this, which I know a lot of you aren't because you have very well-respected stop losses. I don't do stop losses. But, you know, where my mind goes is like, I'm going to diamond hands this because, again, in 90% of the cases, I'm right. And 10% of the cases, I'm wrong. And the 10% of the cases that I'm wrong, I have the same risk and reward every single time. So I just want to see what happens at that 945 candle. But I'm going to start a position at 688C for right now. I'm going to get 2 of these. And I'm going to set a limit buy because I don't want to play around here at 45. Actually, I'm going to get 4 of these at 45. Because I'm going to always risk $200 in the morning right now. And at the end of the day, for the SPX Lottos, I'm going to do the same thing, $200 every single time. And my goal here is to build a portfolio of trades where I can get from $200 to $400 every single day in 90% of the time for the next year or whatever it takes for the market to improve its condition so I can start taking the swings again. I'm pretty sure my order is going to fill, but give it some time. Let's see what physics is saying by this point in time. Bullish on SPX. Look at that. Physics is agreeing with my thesis here. Bearish on SPY, but I think that's just temporary. I think we're going to go bullish here pretty soon. But give it some time. I think we're right on the money here. And I can tell you with 100% certainty that the call premiums are holding. So I know for a fact when they do the double tap here of the 682.56 level, it's going to shoot up to the upside. And by the way, my order just filled 45, but you saw me do this in the real time, right? At the 660 put for tomorrow, I still have 2 runners in that. I sold most of them at 72%. My 688 call just filled. I'm down 3%. That's fine with me. It's going to go up pretty soon. I'm not, and again, like I just need to be right more than I'm wrong. So I want to buy this more if we get that double tap, and I'll buy 2 more of them, right? And I want to get to like the point where I can just deploy $200 every single day in the morning in the afternoon. And just walk away from that trade and the intraday after 10 a.m., 10, 15 a.m., whatever that time is. So that's how I'm treating this. You do what you're comfortable with. We're up 10% on that call. Like if anyone took, I just start scaling out at that exact price. And the way that I price these, by the way, just so you all know, like I'm not trying to buy it at market. I'm trying to get a discount of like 10, 20% if I can get it. Because that's where I'm comfortable with the risk and reward. And you'll see me do limit orders 100% of the time because I don't buy market. I don't need to. If I know that I'm going to do the undercut and rip higher, I'm going to get them at a discount. I might as well do it the right way. We're up 20% on those calls. Look at that. At this point in time, if you're not following what I'm saying and you're not making money, like send me a DM. I want to walk you through how I trade, why this has worked for me for the last year, and why I've been profitable for the last year, and why I can have those diamond hands. We're still up 20%. If you are a small investor or you don't have a big portfolio, just take the win. Take the win at 20%. On my main one, which I'm doing on my phone, and at the same time, I'm buying 10, 20 contracts right now. We're up 25% on these calls. And I said the exact same thing. Like you saw me do this pre-market even. I said, like, this is your area to buy calls, 682.56. What did we get? We got exactly that. Either I'm a profit here or like this system that I've built out for the last year has worked, right? Just take the win and move on.
By the way, just want to say the Helix actually was correct on detecting the bullish momentum there early on.
Yeah, it was. Look at that. We're up 45%. This is insane. Like, take the win. We're up 50%. Take the win and move on. Like, you don't have to do anything. Let's just make profits and get the fuck out of the market at 10 a.m. But I'm telling you with 100% certainty, and like, again, I just have to be right 90% of the time with 100% certainty. This is going to hit 100%. I'm going to sell two of them at 100%, right? So I'm going to sell two of these at what? When did I buy them at 45? What's 45 times 2? It's like 90, right? I'm going to sell two of these at 90 and have 2 free runners. I made the entire thing back that I've lost, and I still have 2 free runners at that point in time. Right? My risk and reward is always fixed. It's always $200. And I wish we were in training market. We're just not. We're just not. I wish we were. I want to swing. I want to be able to deploy 10, 20 grand on swings. It just has not been the case. Give me that double tap of 682.56. I'll just buy them cheaper. Fuck it. I want to trade this again. I don't need to get back in because we're up 12% on the trade. I'll only get back in if I get a double tap. I don't want to get back in right now. This is called chasing. Don't chase here. I gave you the price, what I want to buy it at. I knew we would hit it. We hit it. If I got a double tap and it goes on a discount below 45, I'll buy more. And again, I just need to be right 90% of the time, or most of the time, not 100%. If you took that trade, you're in the green. Like, you're profitable. You should have got the exact same fill, exact same entry. You're up 20% once again. Take the win. I'm 100% confident that I'm going to get 100% on this, and then I'll have 2 free runners to get that 220%, whatever the number is. Oh, for Western Digital, let's just open up that chart. All right, they had a 50 billion, or not 50, like a $5 billion offering yesterday where a lot of investors were trying to buy it, and that got filled in a couple of hours. So, like, give me that undercut. Like, I'm happy here. Like, your put wall is at fucking 280 here. Are we going to break through that? I highly doubt it. Does a $5 billion, whoever bought $5 billion worth of the stock yesterday at the peak here, are they sweating right now? Probably not. They're going to buy more. Or if they don't buy more, this is just a manipulation candle to stop at every other retail investor and just buy for cheap and rip it toward the upside. So right here is when I'm interested in buying WDC, either stock or options, right? So let's open it up. I'm going to buy the 310 calls for tomorrow because that's where your call wall is. I think we're going to hit that really quickly. But I also have that 320 call, which I'm going to either add to maybe later in the day or whenever this like double bottoms here. And then I'll just take the win. And what I'm trying to do right now, just so everyone's aware, is set up long-term, not swings, but long-term investments in MU, which I already have a position in. I've had it for like the last year with Micron, SanDisk, Western Digital, and all the energy companies. Like, I've been buying hella XLE right now because I think it's worth taking that risk if that's where the big boys are playing. And dude, we're getting the exact same thing I was telling everyone yesterday. This is going to rip. This was all accumulation yesterday, and we're going to rip. That's exactly what I got. And I think I told everyone to get the XLE Leaps for 70C for January 2027. You're up like 50% on those. And I also got the, what was it? What call did I buy? Timmy, do you remember? It was the oil company, USO, US Oil.
USO.
I got leads on this. I got 80 calls for 2027. They're up 100%. Like, this is in the money right now.
And just a quick explainer there, folks. USO is a little bit different than buying, say, Exxon stock. USO is WTI crude futures. So whatever happens globally, that will be reflected in crude futures, which will be reflected in USO. So that's a great bet on it, on using it like as a proxy for global events, whether it's regional tensions or natural disaster causing an OPEC nation to cut their drilling.
Well said. I sold all the 460 calls on gold, by the way. Like yesterday when we peaked there, it was up 100%. I just took the win. I took the win on 466 as well. I think those went 50%, and they ran a bit more at the end of the day, but like around here, but I didn't take the full profit. But I do think on gold itself, you're going towards 466 either today or tomorrow. I don't know when, but that's most likely what's going to happen. So I got those 480 calls for tomorrow just as a hedge for any global events, but we'll see what we get. And SPY, yeah, it's moving slow, but I think I'm right that we're going to get to 690 today. I don't think George has opened a position, but maybe he has. Nope. He's just watching. Let's go. Did anyone get a gain here? Hey, look at that. Yeah, don't give up your gains. Like, stop trading after 10, 15 a.m. Like, we just get chopped out and there's nothing to do. Yeah, me too. And like, the reality is when we were in a training market last year, it was easy to capture 50, 100% moves intraday. That just hasn't been the case outside of the morning and at the end of the day, right? And one other thing I'm doing at the end of the day now, because my risk and reward is, my risk is always fixed at $200 for the starter challenge. I'm literally just buying it, setting limit sells at 200%, 300%. I'm going to leave runners because I'm trying to buy anywhere between 4 to 10 contracts at the end of the day right now for those lottos. And if I can get the win in the morning and I'm green on those wins, which everyone should be, right now you should be green, you're up 25, 30%, just take the win. I have diamond hands. I'm going to hold this because I'm dead confident I'm going to get 100% here. And if I don't, I'm going to be wrong 10% of the time. That's fine. But I'm very confident that I will get that 100%. But if you're not able to have those diamond hands, just take the win at 25, 30%, whatever the number is, right? And the goal here is to compound it. When you turn your portfolio from $200 to $400, you made $200 in profit and just risk $200 every single time. And then you can diamond hands, right? Then you can be confident in the play and be able to hold it for longer because you've already made your principal back. It does. Yeah. We'll add later in the day. Okay, you're up 40%. I told you not to chase this because I knew this would happen. We got that undercut and ripped higher. You're at 50%, just take the win. No, fighter, do not buy leaps unless it's a company you want to buy, like Western Digital, or for me, it's Western Digital, SanDisk, and Micron. This is not an environment to be buying leaps unless you want to own those companies and you're comfortable with the drawdown.
I actually just entered into some XOM leaps.
Yeah, I like XOM leaps as well. And I have a couple of XLE leaps for January 2027. I think it's a 70 strike that I got. Yeah, I'm an ass about this, but the reality is I don't want you to lose your money here on buying leaps that are going to be fucking worthless if the market doesn't recover. Ooh, Microsoft flipped negative. That makes sense. I hate that stock. Okay, hate's not the right word. I very much dislike that stock. It's been the worst performer for the last year for me. All right, they're selling IWM, they're selling QQQ, technology's weak. We all know this. S&P 500, by the way, has more defensive names and like critical minerals and healthcare and financials, so it does better on average than QQQ. Unless technology is leading, I don't see the point of trading QQQ personally. And let's go look at IWM. Did my thesis there play out? which was we'll get that undercut and rip higher. Yeah, this is exactly what happened. What did I say? Like, this is your entry point for longs. Got exactly that. You're up like 50% on these calls. Take the win. Damn, Poopy. It's got a lot of risk here. Or look at that. This guy made $1,000 by risking 6,000. I don't know if that's the right risk and reward, but if it works, it works. All right, what's physics saying? Silver, strong. Yeah, makes sense. Let them rip and go. Oh, I want to show you this chart on silver. Silver, silver, silver. All right. I'm not buying silver. I don't think this is going to work, in my opinion, because your previous support here at 71.27, we have not flipped that. Until we flip it, I don't want to buy silver calls because we keep hitting that level over and over again, and we're just dropping on that. Does that look like a stock you want to buy or an asset you want to buy? To me, the answer is no. And you have an H pattern here on top of that. That's like a double H pattern if I'm being real serious here. It's like you got an H, went down here, and then you got another H, and you're going down here, like towards 56. So I don't want to buy any silver calls personally, but you do what you're comfortable with, and I'm not comfortable buying calls on silver. Okay, at this point in time, if you lost money on this trade, get the fuck out of this Discord and stop trading. You're up 100. What did I say? I'm going to get my 100% here. Then I'm going to have 2 free runners. Diamond hands. Diamond hands are the best. But yeah, profit is profit. Just take the win and move on. I can stomach risking the $200 every day. Sorry, $400. So I do $200 at the end of the day as well. But I'm happy with those choices. Look at everyone making money here. This is awesome. This is what I love to see. Look at this. Nurse is up 35%. Alex is up 55. Timmy's up $643. Poopy's up 1,000 here. Just take the win and move on, y'all. I'm not going to sell this until it hits 100%. I'm happy to be wrong on the 10% of the cases that I'm wrong.
Just to clarify, I would have held for longer, but I have Zoom meetings and those like to go over.
Yeah, it's all good. Don't want to have my diamond hands. I'm very patient on this one. It takes some time, but that's totally fine.
For people who are thinking that they might be chasing and just negating what you're saying and stuff, just be aware 686.28 is a really big wall of resistance that we ran into on Friday.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure we'll catch on the way up, at least for a little bit, if we can get there quick.
Market makers are the worst. Honestly, they're just scaring everyone right now. And that's fine. I get it. They're playing games. We got to think like them, not bet against them. Look at that. Another win here. 21% on the port. This is great. This is what I love to see. This is what everyone signed up for. And this is why I'm only trading in the morning and at the afternoon. I don't want to do anything in the intraday here.
Yeah, it's not good.
Dutchman, what the fuck are you doing? Is he here? No, he's not here. Okay, I'm going to send him a message. What are you doing? Are you buying puts? better not be buying puts because that's the dumbest thing here. You're betting against trend. You're betting against that double bottom that I was telling you about. There's serious buyers here. Until that level breaks, I'm not buying puts. It's no point.
Yeah, I think they're going to sweep it to like 684 and change right here, and then maybe then crack it back up.
Yeah, I think that's right. And this is what I was saying.
We
like,
made a
this is
couple
your-
gaps on the way up here, even though there's the one engulfing, it didn't last, and there's no wicks on it. So I think that was just a lateral move.
Yeah, and wicks are price rejection. So like when you're measuring a move, you're looking at where has price rejected. This is a clear price rejection. They don't want to let it drop below this. This is a clear price rejection. They don't want to let it drop below this. There's a price rejection here, don't get me wrong, but I think it's temporary. I don't think it's going to last forever. You're going to get something like this. They sweep this imbalance and then rip higher. Like that's my thesis there. Okay, while we wait for that, I want to see what QQQ and IWM are doing. Silver, what did I say? Like, I don't know why you're buying calls in silver, or should be buying calls. Like, you're going to reject every single time. It's not able to clear that level there. QQQ, I'm very tempted to take a QQQ call, but it's in between two levels. I don't want to play it. It's just not worth the risk for me personally, but if you want to take a call, you could take it here for 607C. But I'm not over trading. I'm just in that one spot position, and I'm just going to wait to see what happens. WDC, yeah, it's going to keep tapping this because this is where I know there's a lot of stop losses. Okay, here's my theory, right? And I think you've heard me say this multiple times. If I'm taking a long on WDC, and I'm treating this the same way that I treat futures, there's a bunch of people with stop losses right here, right at this level, right? At 284.75 is like your middle point for this liquidity sweep. This is when the market will reverse to the upside, or this particular asset will go towards the upside. George might have opened puts. I think he might be too early on SPY, but he might be able to get it. I don't know. Maybe it works. I'm not going to buy puts. I don't see the point of doing that, to be honest. He's an idiot, but he's our idiot. I see the thesis. I see what he's seeing, which is you're going to reject at this level, which is probably right. And you're going to take that 10, 20% gain, right? But because we got in on this candle or around there, I'm happy to hold this and diamond hands this because I know my upside target is here. And I've got this at a discount compared to what the market was saying when we started looking at it, right? So you might be right on this one. I have no idea. I have no idea if we undercut again and then rip higher. I have no clue. But I'm going to hold my position because I know I got it at a discount.
Something for you smaller calls too, right? Like what are your smaller accounts? Sorry. Like we're moving down to that level. Like Shabs and I are both talking about, 684 and change, like it's going to catch liquidity and whatnot. I just literally bought where is it? Because I already sold it. The 688 call, right? $55. You can just buy one. And then I sold it 45 seconds later for $70, right? Which is 15%. What is that? 25% gain. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to make hundreds of dollars, right? You could buy that one contract, $55, you sell it for $80 or whatever. There's 20, you just make $25 in 30 seconds, right? Very little risk in that little thing, that one contract. So, like take the nibbles, right? When we're talking about all these layers, Chabs is going to diamond hand and hold it till it's 8,000% so we can all have FOMO. But just take your 20%, just nibble. At the end of the day, you doubled your port, right? It's not rocket science.
Exactly. Well said. And look, George could have got that win there, but he didn't take it. And I told you I'm going to get that 100%. I have full confidence. Look at that. Look at it. Look at it. 100%, 103%. I've sold 2 of the contracts. Look at that. I've broken even on that trade. What did I tell you? And I have 2 free runners. I can do whatever I want with them. I'm going to sell one at 200% and leave one for kicks. Stupid George. I saw the vision. Don't get me wrong. I see the vision. He might be right. I think he's just early. He's going to get stopped out of it. I'm pretty sure. So I'm saying just have enough for free runners and you're good to go. Whatever happens now, it's just pure profit. Like, look at that. Runners are running. And I bet you my runners are going to print more than my original position did. So I'm going to diamond hands to the next two. And I've made my money back. I'm happy. I don't care what happens. I love to see everyone profiting here. This is awesome. I think George is right. He's early, as usual. Y'all made money. 4% for Marco. 50% here. 20% here. 35% here. This is great. This is what trading should be like. Just trust the process and just gotta win more than you lose. That's literally it. You saw me do it. You saw me get that 100%. Now I'm just in these free runners. I don't care what happens. Yeah, we're going to get some lottos whenever George generates them at 3 p.m. Week ahead, let's go see neutral and SPY, KQQ, IWM. Makes sense. They're just consolidating. Look, George was right, 100%. I think he was right on that one. I think he just got in like 2 minutes too early. But that's totally fine. NVIDIA put, yep, that's what I thought. Amazon calls, actually, maybe.
686 resistance.
Yeah.
Fucking Friday.
Classic.
Still there like a goddamn brick wall.
It really is.
And if you guys have previous levels and stuff, we're still over here in what are we, November? Is this the November levels? October, November levels, maybe?
Yeah. It hasn't changed since October 27th. Hey, even Alex made money on those George's puts. Look at this. George was right as well, but we were right. I think we made more money than probably George will right now, but that's totally fine. Good job. Good job, Alex. I love to see this. I'm proud of y'all. It's great. You took my play. You took George's plays. We're happy here. George was right. I should have taken those puts at the discount, but here we are. 50% of George's puts. This is awesome. Played both sides and won. I'm only doing the one because I don't know. I hate opening multiple positions. It's just, I don't want to risk another $200 there. That's why. See, I'd be interested in buying puts here because you have a clear rejection and you have a hanging man. I think it's called hanging man. I can't remember exactly what it's called. But like you have a hanging man pattern here where it's just going to grab liquidity from this imbalance most likely and then rip harp, or it would continue going down towards 679, which is I think what George is saying.
Yeah, I think we're going to go test the 200 because the 50 and the 200 just got together for a little bit.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think George is right there too, but as I said, I think he used it early. And I'm still up on this trade, by the way. Like I've made my money back and I'm still up 20%. All right, you're green on those George's butts. Take the win. Take the win. Nicely done, Alex. That's the way to go. And watch him get like a 50, 60% here. That'd be insane. That'd be so funny to me.
Yeah, if you close out a day where you've been patient and disciplined with your trades, they're less exciting, right? But you close out a day, you will feel significantly better than the little short dopamine hit that you get from like, that one contract won 100% and something like that. It's like you stack and compound, as boring as fuck.